Good morning, and welcome to the class of 2018's graduation ceremony. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
So let that lonely feeling wash away, 'cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. And when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know, to take you home.
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found.
So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found.
You From across the silence, your voice is heard. Someone will come running,
And I know
to take you home.
someone will come running to take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows, the morning is breaking, and all is new. All is new. Filling up the empty, and suddenly I see that all is new. All is new. You are not alone. 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 Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need someone to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. 'Cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't watch your broken parts.
I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious.
When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown 'em out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me.
Another round of bullets hits my skin. We'll fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in.
We are bursting through the barricades and reach out for the sun. We are warriors, and that's what we've become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, gonna send a flood, gonna drown 'em out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. Not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me.
And I know that I deserve your love. There's nothing I'm not worthy of. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown 'em out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.
Look out, 'cause here I come.
Look out, 'cause here I come. Marching on, marching, marching down.
Make no apologies. This is me.
Oh. I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown 'em out. Oh, this is me.
And we will come back home, and we will come back home, home again. And we will come back home, and we will come back home, home again. And we will come back home, and we will come back home, home again. And we will come back home, and we will come back home, home again. And we will come back home, and we will come back home, home again. And we will come back home, and we will come back home, home again.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sydney Keough, and I have been the class of 2018's Vice President for the past 3 years. It has been a pleasure to serve this class and to grow up alongside you, and to see each of you choose your path for the future. Our first day of high school was August 27th, 2014, and today it is our graduation day, the day most of us have been craving for the past 4 years. Together, we have planned many fundraisers, including a lot of Moe's nights, class events, and 2 successful proms. But I don't know how any of that would have been possible without the leadership and composure of our class president. She has stood beside me these past few years, balancing the presidencies of both the Silver Stars Drama Club and the Class Council, starring in many of the school's productions, including Shrek, Midsummer Jersey, Les Mis, Guys and Dolls, Airline, Robin Hood, and many more. Recently, she was part of the entirely student-produced production of Little Shop of Horrors. As our president, she has led this class with compassion and commitment that is truly unmatched. Most importantly, she has been my confidant, one of my biggest cheerleaders, and a loyal friend to anyone who has had the pleasure of meeting her. I want to thank her personally for all she has done for the officers and for this class. I mean it genuinely when I say it is my honor and pleasure to introduce the class of 2018's president, Allison Farina.
Thank you, Sydney. Good morning. On behalf of the class of 2018, I would like to welcome Superintendent Blackwood, Assistant Superintendent Prue, Principal Gill, Assistant Principals Blett and Pratt, Chairperson Hatch and school committee members, the class of 1968, teachers, class officers, family, friends, and my fellow graduates. Before I get started, I would like to speak on behalf of the class officers and the rest of the seniors to thank our class advisors, Ms. Leonti and Mrs. Fontaine. They have been instrumental pieces of our journey throughout the past 4 years, and we are eternally grateful for all of the help they have given us. Ms. Leonti has been out on leave for the past few months, and we have missed her tremendously. Even from home, she's been supporting us and working hard to help us plan prom and graduation. We couldn't have asked for a better support system. Thank you. Now on to the graduates. First things first, guys, we made it. We've been in a race against time for the last 9 months, trying to outrun some inevitable cases of senioritis, and we're finally here to walk across this stage into the next chapter of our lives. Now, I'm a theater kid, so I think it's only fitting for me to make one of those cheesy theater metaphors, and I hope that you'll all bear with me. The great Billy Shakes claimed, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts." If you think about our years in school, that is absolutely true. All the world's a stage. Shakespeare's plays always had 5 acts. Our Act 1, preschool and elementary school, in our own little towns where we learned our ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and the importance of recess. Act 2, Silver Lake. Middle school, when all 3 towns finally merged and we really went through our awkward phases together, some of us more than others. Seriously, why did I ever think feather earrings were a good idea? And high school, where we found a second home. We've grown together and become new, better people within just the first 2 acts of our lives, and there is so much more to come. But the past 4 years have been the biggest influence on our characters, thanks to the people around us. While we've each been living in our own lives, starring in plays of our own making, one student in their time playing many parts from teammate to club member, co-worker, sibling, and friend, we've also been supporting characters in other people's lives. Our class has a strong bond like no other, and I know each of you would agree. Walking through the hallways, you can be sure to see a friendly face. We support each other in games or shows, we help each other in classes, and we kill it during Spirit Week every year. The relationships we have formed throughout high school are bonds that have helped create who we are today. Our best friends have supported us through our best and worst moments. The people we only see in classes have had an impact on our school experiences. Where would you be if that one kid in math class sophomore year didn't lend you that pencil? We'll never know. Even our teachers, well, especially our teachers, have changed our lives for the better. Their support is a large reason we're all sitting here today. And here we are, graduation day. These moments are ones we will truly remember forever. This is a weird time in our lives, though. We're stuck in a sort of intermission, a pause. Not in high school anymore, but not yet living in the real world. We're at both an exit and an entrance. We're about to have a whole extra month of summer, but then move on to a totally new portion of our lives. It might seem overwhelming, but there is so much to love about this in-between moment. The moment before the curtain rises on opening night. The second before tip-off of the big game. The minute you place your robot creation on the ground at Robotics First Tech Challenge. The heartbeat of a group of people who put in time and effort together and are about to witness the results of their work. These in-between moments should not be overlooked, but cherished. Like the people around you who have been growing with you for the past 6 years, and the people sitting in front of you who are so incredibly proud of you for getting to this point. Embrace everything about today. Take a crazy amount of pictures and soak in every second. Be proud of yourself. You did this. You spent countless hours studying for exams, doing homework, and creating projects even on top of your clubs and social work. You probably pulled in an all-nighter, or a few, to try and cram in the extra work you needed to do. But you're graduating. As you look around to embrace the milestone you are achieving today, you should be smiling ear to ear. As for exits and entrances, now is the time to leave our home here at Silver Lake and leap into the unknown. Pretty soon, we'll be moving on to Act 3, traditionally the most eventful act of Shakespeare's plays. Some of us will go to college, some will take on full-time jobs, and some will go into the military. We'll meet new players, and each of us will take on new roles. In 5 or 10 years, we'll be seeing each other again with whole new perspectives on the world. The future can be a scary place, full of unknown opportunities and difficult decisions. I know we are all ready to take on everything the world has to offer and finish every new act with growth and wisdom. It has been an honor to be your president for the last 2 years. Congratulations on your graduation. The next couple acts of your lives are sure to be astonishing.
Good morning. My name is Laura Masterpolo, and I am the secretary for the class of 2018. This year's guest speaker is a favorite among students and faculty. In each of her classes, students are met with the incredible kindness and passion she possesses for teaching. You may have had the pleasure of being in one of her English classes, or in her elective class, Shakespeare for Everyone, one of the most popular electives in the school. She is, by far, Silver Lake's biggest superfan. She is a cheerleader for all sports teams, especially basketball, and attends tournament games. She is also the advisor for Amnesty International and has organized events involving the advocacy of human rights for students to participate in. As assistant director of the drama club, she regularly helps run the fall musicals and advises the student-run Shakespeare festivals, where students write mashups of Shakespeare's plays. Her commitment and love for the drama department is truly inspiring, and she is definitely one of the reasons I was a part of the club for the past few years. Her lessons are not merely academic. She represents the person I aspire to be: kind, generous, and thoughtful. She inspires me and many others to strive to be our best selves. She makes sure that room 1611 is a supportive and loving environment where you are always welcome to come sit on their couch, whether you are one of her students or not. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce this year's guest speaker, Mrs. Heather Bates.
Thank you, Lauren. Superintendent Blackwood, Assistant Superintendent Prue, Principal Gill, Assistant Principal Blett, Assistant Principal Pratt, school committee members, class officers, class of 1968, faculty members, family, friends, and graduates of the class of 2018, welcome. Class of 2018, thank you so much for choosing me to be your graduation speaker. It is an honor. Over the last few years, while home discussing work with my family, I have repeatedly raved about how much I have enjoyed teaching this particular group. Over and over again, I have used the phrase, "I love this class." Finally, one day after hearing me use the phrase yet again, my daughter stopped and asked me, "What is it about this class that you love so much?" After a brief pause to reflect, I gave a short and simple reply, "They are my Celtics." As an avid basketball fan, I rejoiced last summer when the Boston Celtics signed 2 new All-Stars to their roster to lead them to their next championship. As many of us know, both players suffered season-ending injuries, and most fans and sports media considered the whole season a loss. However, throughout the season, the younger players and their coach committed to working together, learning from each other, and cheering for each other. This approach led to a winning season and an inspiring playoff run that almost no fan or Vegas odds maker predicted. All season long, I admired this team's camaraderie, their respect for each other, and their commitment to being part of something greater than themselves. Much like I have spent the last 4 years admiring this class. You have respect for your teachers, your school, and most importantly, respect for each other. Like the Celtics, you have worked together, you have learned from each other, and you have cheered for each other. Beyond English and Shakespeare class, I've had the privilege of working with many of you in our drama program, Amnesty International Club, and summer basketball camps. I've seen you grow and achieve so much, but in my eyes, what distinguishes this group is your collaborative spirit and respect for each other. Over the last 4 years, the Silver Lake community has been the beneficiary of the many generous acts that have come to characterize this particular class. The examples are numerous. In the classroom setting, many of you have gone above and beyond to support your peers, whether it was a simple act of making a teacher aware that a peer needed help, or going out of your way to lend a hand or offer help unnoticed. Your kind gestures have made a difference. Many of you have given up your time throughout high school to volunteer in numerous ways. Some of you have been mentors, tutors, and buddies, to name a few. Others of you have assisted teachers without even being asked, whether it was to help set up microscopes for a lab, move chairs at the beginning of a class, or even clean up trash in the cafeteria that was not even your own. Some of you have gone out of your way to help your peers who are members of the Silver Lake Goals program, whether it was partnering with them in class to help them understand concepts, being encouraging by offering support in particular classes, or escorting them on the red carpet for prom. Moreover, many of you have helped students in the hall who you did not even know because they were upset about something. You have given your own tissues to peers in need. You have offered to take classmates for walks to de-escalate stressful situations. You have applauded quieter students who finally gained the courage to speak in class. You have held the door for scores of students as they have filed in from buses, no matter what the temperature was outside. You have spoken up when peers were afraid to do so themselves. You have stood together to show your solidarity. You have also taken the time to help peers in the hallway who dropped something on the ground. You've invited students sitting alone at lunch to your table. You've shared books, pencils, notes, Chromebook chargers, and even hugs. Anything to help someone's day go more smoothly. When peers in a CTE shop were in need of boots, you anonymously donated a new pair to help those who needed them in order to work. At a home track meet in 40-degree weather with your parent waiting in the parking lot, you gave up over an extra hour of your time to measure the distance of throws for another team. During tennis tryouts, you continuously partnered up with younger, more novice players to help them feel more included and confident in team games. Before every boys' basketball game at Silver Lake, you helped a peer with his bow tie and offered words of encouragement. At a swim meet, you went out of your way to not only work with judges to change a lane placement for a teammate, but you chose to swim with her so she could pace herself to qualify for the MIAA sectional time. During Silver Lake Idol tryouts, benefit concerts, and numerous auditions for drama shows, members of this class have been most encouraging, helping students have the courage to audition and get up in front of their peers. You have helped behind the scenes without ever asking for anything in return. Your kindness has even extended beyond the walls of Silver Lake. You've stopped on the side of the road to help people involved in an accident. You've returned carriages for senior citizens at local grocery stores. You've built homes for people in need, shoveled driveways, carried bags, raised money for numerous organizations, and you have even helped care for your own teachers' children. These are just some of the many examples that define this class. On their own, these acts of kindness may sound simple and small, but together they become something much greater. They become the fabric of a culture where everyone is valued and you take care of one another. Class of 2018, you've made so many others happy over the past 4 years through your acts of kindness and your respect for each other. This sense of togetherness reminds me of one of your favorite books from sophomore year, Tuesdays with Maury. The story's about Brandeis University professor Maury Schwartz, who was dying of ALS disease, yet he was still able to teach his former student, Mitch Albom, lessons about life on Tuesdays. In the book, Maury tells the story of a little wave basking in the joy of the open air until it eventually realizes that it is destined to crash upon the shore. The little wave laments that its joyous existence is coming to an end. Then another wave comes behind the little wave and tells it, "You are not a wave, you are part of the ocean." In this brief story, Maury teaches all of us that we are a part of something greater than ourselves. We are not alone in this world. You, the class of 2018, have always made people feel accepted, supported, and unafraid to be themselves and share their voices. I hope that as you begin new chapters in your lives, you will continue this collaborative spirit. As I was writing my speech and once again discussing this class with my family, my 10-year-old son offered his own words of wisdom that he wrote down for you without being asked and handed them over to me, and they are as follows. When you go to the next step of your life, remember that everyone has your back. Try out new stuff, and maybe you'll find something you love. Be yourself and show people who you are. If you call someone a friend, make sure they like you for who you are. If you struggle, think about the happy parts of your life. Last but not least, treat everyone with respect, no matter what color, what gender, or what shape or size they are. You are all special in your own way. From Declan. American cultural anthropologist Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." You, the class of 2018, are thoughtful, committed, and passionate. You have made the entire Silver Lake community extremely proud. We will never forget your enthusiasm, your school spirit, your respect for each other, and your kindness. Please know that Silver Lake will always be your home if you ever need anything. Keep lending a hand, sharing a tissue, offering a hug, and exchanging a smile. These are the small gestures that make an impact. It's time for your next entrance, the next act. Laugh, love, learn, create, build, sing, dance, rewrite the stars, lay misstep, use your pool noodles wisely, and break a leg. Thank you, and hugs.
Thank you, Ms. Bates. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. My name is Sarah Noonan, and I am the class of 2018 historian. Before I begin, I'd like to thank members of the class of 1968 for being with us today. We are so grateful to have fellow alumni of Silver Lake joining us as they celebrate their 50-year reunion. They are a testament to the spirit of Silver Lake, and I hope that when our 50-year reunion rolls around, we continue to uphold the same spirit. Today is a day to celebrate our personal accomplishments. Today, however, is also a day in which we celebrate the accomplishments of our classmates. One particular member of our class I'd like to recognize is our Salutatorian. This year's Salutatorian is not only an accomplished student, but also an accomplished athlete. While balancing a rigorous course load, she has earned 3 state swimming titles, being the first Silver Lake swimmer to win the 100-yard backstroke in 2 consecutive years, and also the 200-yard individual medley. From the first class we shared in honors freshman physics, to the many hours spent laboring over AP chemistry quizzes, she has dedicated her entire focus to being the best she can possibly be. Our salutatorian is attentive, hardworking, and undoubtedly motivated. Both in the classroom and in the pool, she gives her entire effort to reach her personal and team goals. In her many academic and athletic accomplishments, she has fearlessly overcome setbacks and failures and has continued to strive for self-improvement despite these obstacles. I am confident that she will continue to uphold these qualities in her time spent at the United States Naval Academy, where she will begin training, swimming, and studying this summer. I am proud to introduce this year's salutatorian, Madison Milburn.
Thank you, Sarah, for the introduction, and good morning, everyone. Superintendent Blackwood, Assistant Superintendent Prue, school committee members and Chairperson Hatch, Principal Gill, Assistant Principals Blett and Pratt, Class of 1968, faculty, families, friends, and fellow classmates. We did it! The day's finally come that we've all been looking for since we stepped into the halls of Silver Lake Regional High School, graduation day. On the first day of senior year, I remember feeling beyond excited. No more upperclassmen left to bow down to. I thought I had my future figured out, until I got to period 3. I walked into Miss Ferrara's English class low-key terrified of her. The first assignment she gave us was to create a 6-word memoir, a concise sentence summarizing everything we've been and wanted to be over the past 18 years. I'd been asked for my post-high school plans by guidance counselors, teachers, relatives, and friends about a bazillion times. But for some reason, this small assignment shook my confidence. How the heck would I put everything I believed about myself into a 6-word phrase? I started by reflecting on my current self, feeling the emotions I'm sure every other senior did. Giddy and energized, but at the same time unmotivated and stressed about what I'd be doing with my life come June. In September, my life revolved around getting into my dream school and starting my dream future, as I'm sure it did for many. I wanted my 6-word memoir to represent how dedicated I was to my future. And so my memoir became What Hurts More, Exhaustion or Failure. I used these words as inspiration during the beginning of senior year, reminding myself of everything I would have to overcome to reach my goal. Completing this assignment and reflecting back on my experiences from my first 3 years at Silver Lake helped me become more mature and come to a realization I'd like to share with you all today. And no, it's not how to find the area under a curve with an integral or how to write a concise essay with stylistic flair in 40 minutes, so don't worry. I'd like to talk to you today about success. Today, so many of us, no matter our age, feel pressured to achieve what society considers to be success. But, in my experience, in trying to achieve my own success, I've discovered that what we're trying to achieve is something else: perfection. Success is not perfection. Success is not something that can be quantified. Success is an ability that you gain through exhaustion and through failure. For some of us, ideas of success appear in extracurriculars, whether that be scoring the most points, getting the lead role in a play, running or swimming the fastest time, completing the car you've been building for months, or out-debating your opponent. In all of these scenarios, success is thought to be achieved when you're the best at what you do, when you reach the top. I've been a competitive swimmer since I was 8 years old, and I've been taught a lot about success by my head coach, Jay Kraft. He helped my team become more successful athletes and individuals, not by spoon-feeding us accolades and accomplishments, but by having us push through physically exhausting workouts, making us persevere despite encountering what we believe to be failure. Nowadays, people are caught up in the trophies and titles, the plaques and honors that come from being the best. All the hard work and dedication necessary to achieving greatness gets forgotten, and failure is avoided like parking in the JPL. As the brilliant Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts." In life and in extracurriculars, our focus needs to be taken off winning and losing and shifted towards experiencing and improving. In many aspects of life, the idea of success is often linked to something tangible and desirable. What I've noticed is that today's society considers success to be a direct path to wealth. Wealth comes from receiving a good education, attending a good college, joining the military, or starting a successful business. I'm not going to lie to you. I fell into this success equals wealth equals happiness trap too. I was convinced that getting into my dream school and starting my dream future depended solely upon the number of A's and A+ on my final transcript. I remember walking past the attendance kiosk on the first day of freshman year thinking, I need to be valedictorian. Being valedictorian is literally winning high school. Reflecting back on that moment, I realized that I was thinking about something to be achieved by the end of senior year when I didn't even know where the bathrooms were yet. Seems pretty ridiculous now. While fantasizing about valedictorian might not be everyone's aspiration, we've all had visions of success since freshman year. At some point, when we were sitting in those blue cement rooms, trying to convince ourselves that special right triangles were irrelevant to anything in life, we weighed the pros and cons of staying up an extra hour to work on that project. Many of us felt obligated to work towards a lifetime of success in high school, and I'm sure many of the adults in the audience are still trying to work towards these wealth-based ideals. During junior year, I read an article called Education Nonstop about the problems in our current education systems. It explained how students fear educational failure, exhausting themselves to the point of illness, and feeling pressured to make themselves competitive in the real world. I've seen this frantic preparation for success in action throughout high school. Not only does it mess with students physically, but it also causes us to be competitive, paranoid monsters, willing to put down our peers to bring ourselves to the top. And I know this savage competitiveness exists amongst adults too. Our value as an individual does not depend on our class rank or what kind of car we drive. My revelations about success were not brought on solely by the creation of my 6-word memoir. I was helped tremendously by my loving and supportive parents, the caring advice from my coach, Brian Keene, the wise words from the phenomenal Mr. McCarthy, and the goofy reminders to stop and smell the roses given to me by some kid I met on an Auburn University recruit trip. No longer was I making myself sick trying to be valedictorian or competing with my classmates or my friends. No longer was I afraid to fail. I learned that success isn't always being the best or getting the most recognition. Success is the feeling you get when you finally accomplish your goals and reflect on the exhausting journey it took to get there. Although my old memoir still hangs in Miss Ferrara's room, a shadow of the person I was 8 months ago, I would like to present to you all a revised 6-word memoir that encompasses the lessons I've learned over this past year. Success is relative. Cherish the experience.
Thank you, Maddie. Another member of our class that I'd like to recognize is our valedictorian. Our valedictorian is an athlete, a musician, a scientist, and especially, as this newest title indicates, a scholar. She has dedicated much of her last 4 years spent at Silver Lake to the robotics team, the cross-country, winter, and spring track teams, and as a member of Student Council and National Honor Society. Having spent much time in the classroom with our valedictorian, I can personally attest to her motivation, drive, and incredible work ethic. She has worked tirelessly to improve not only herself, but also her community, proof of which can be seen through her work with an independent study in which she researched crop irrigation levels with the goal of promoting water conservation and efficient water usage. Her passion for the acquisition of knowledge is further proven in her studies with engineering, design, and management, in her undertaking of, yes, a second independent study. I consider myself very fortunate to have been a peer to this year's valedictorian, and I am excited to see her future accomplishments at Worcester Polytechnic Institute and beyond. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce the class of 2018's valedictorian, Keough.
Thank you, Sarah, for the kind words. Good morning, Superintendent Blackwood, Assistant Superintendent Prue, Principal Gill, Assistant Principals Blett and Pratt, Chairperson Hatch, school committee members, class of 1968, teachers, fellow graduates, families, and friends. Thank you all for being here today. I cannot describe how strange it feels to be standing before all of you today as valedictorian. Now, when people find out that you're valedictorian, they congratulate you. But every time someone congratulated me, I would stutter and give them this look, this "how did you know, who told you" look. Then I'd say, "Oh, thank you." When I was told I was valedictorian, it took me a moment to process what that meant. Because as proud as I am of all that I have achieved over these last 4 years, and as honored as I am of having the privilege to stand before all of you today, having this title does not change me. It's not that I didn't appreciate people congratulating me, and it's not that I didn't like being valedictorian, but having this label does not redefine any of my achievements. They did not become anything less or more than what they already were, because I did not work so hard for so long to simply stand behind this podium. I did so to be able to live my life the way I desire, to make my decisions mine, to become the girl I am now and the woman that I will be. I'm here today because I fought for that light inside that so many of us lose as the world adds links to the chains that tie us to identities that do not reflect who we truly are. To all my peers, today we have the chance to begin our lives anew as whoever we wish to be. Schools label us as a certain way, and our school environment declares us as characters that do not always mirror who we feel we are. Perhaps for some of us, what people say is accurate, but likely they are wrong. The moment you walk across this stage today, I hope that you walk away from the manacles binding you to the definitions forced upon you. I know how hard it is to break these chains, but we must fight for freedom from our restraints because not everyone gets even the chance to do so. To those of us who could not be here today, the students not only at Silver Lake, but across the country and around the world. To all of the students who will not get to walk across their stages and turn their tassels. To those that are not fortunate enough to even have the opportunity of an education because of the oppression in other countries. And to those who had that opportunity taken from them due to the school violence in our country. The students of Silver Lake will not be among those who turn away from your calls to action and your rallies for change. To those who have lost so much more than the chance to wear a cap and gown. I hope you know that we are among the many that will fight for you. And I hope you know that today, we walk in your name, in your honor, and in your light. To all the families and friends in the audience, as we stand before you today to honor the achievements of the class of 2018, I'd like to honor you. Because without the support, the guidance, and the faith that you provided us, today might not be possible, because family is forever. Whether bonded through blood or linked by friendship, families are united in heart. And to all of our wonderful teachers, I'd like to thank you for all that you have done for us. We have all grown and changed so much thanks to the guiding lights that our teachers have provided us. And now we stand ready to face the world with luminous spirits. As I prepare for life beyond Silver Lake, it gives me great joy to know that I have become a person that I am proud to be, and that I will continue to grow into the woman that I aspire to be. It has always been my dream to bring radiance to the world. But in order to help others out of the darkness, one must possess their own light. And I thank my teachers for helping me find mine, even when I could not see it myself. Some do not recognize the amazing hearts within our teachers, but many see it in every one of them every single day. Some think that teachers leave when the day is done, but even with that final ring of the bell, they are still here for us. They aid us and support us. They foster the hearts within us. They do so much more than we could ever imagine. From the countless hours spent preparing each lesson that must be tirelessly taught throughout the day, to the goodie bags before AP exams, I see how much they care. So I thank you for everything that you have done for us. Thank you for teaching us. Thank you for inspiring us. And thank you for believing in us. To my fellow graduates, there might be people who tell you that today is not that important. There may be people that tell you that graduating high school is not that great of an accomplishment, and it will hurt when they look at you and tell you that you still have not achieved enough. But in certain ways, I'll admit that they may be correct. For those of us going on to college, those graduations will be grander affairs. For those of us directly entering the military or the workforce, those coveted promotions and advancements will be your greater achievements. In 10, 20, 30 years, when we have careers and families, when we have built lives beyond this moment, today will not be the day that glitters in the history books. But we fought the world to get here. High school may have been the prologue, but now we begin the greatest chapters of our lives. I cannot possibly convey the amount of pride I am overwhelmed by as I stand with you all today. I am incredibly proud to have been your classmate over the last 4 years, and I am honored to speak before you all. I know how hard it is to get here. I know how hard it is to reach for your dreams and how hard it is to strive for more when you just never seem to be good enough. When you get rejected from your top colleges, when you drown under the responsibilities of life. I know how hard it is to come to school when it seems like the world is just so simply against you. I know how strenuous of a fight it can be in the morning, trying so desperately to free yourself from the chains that threaten to inhibit you. But if we work hard, if we fight for the dreams we hope for, if we are relentless, if we are persistent, I have complete faith that I will hear about the truly remarkable things that our class achieves in the future, the creations that will come to life by our hands, the impact and influences that our voices will ripple across the nation. And maybe that boundless faith that I'm indulging in is simply a glaring sign of my naivety. But I would rather have faith and persevere than be cynical and cower. Although every year, the graduating class is reminded that no matter what happens, Silver Lake will always be their home, in the fall, many of us will leave the Silver Lake community to study, to work, to serve, moving on to new lives. Many of us will be alone in new places as we begin new journeys. We will no longer be here at the home that has been built for us. But I know that we will all find our places in this world, and we will establish new homes for ourselves. The moment we walk across this stage today, the moment we turn our tassels and throw our caps in the air, we will begin our travels onward, free from society's chains. It may take some of us longer than others. Some may travel farther than others. Some will experience the harshest of voyages, while others will be lucky enough to sail on the smoothest of tides. Some of us may never return to Silver Lake again, but in the end, I am confident that we will all arrive where we are meant to be. Today, we take our first steps towards finding our true selves and building our own lives. And no matter where we may go, it gives me no greater joy than to say that we are coming home.
Our next speaker has spent her years at Silver Lake improving the energy, strength, and spirit of our school. She is the epitome of the faculty's motto, all in, every day. Taking on a new role this year, she embraced every possibility that came with it, and the countless hours she has put into her work have not gone unnoticed. From the first day of school, when she encouraged staff to create a colorful welcome for students with chalk, to every day of December when she wore an ugly sweater to spread holiday cheer, to senior prom when she left adorable poems in the bathroom accompanying extra emergency supplies, to make sure we had the night of our lives. She has been working to create the best possible experiences for everyone at Silver Lake. She has stepped up above and beyond in her new position to not only be a fantastic principal, but also an inspiration for her fellow faculty and her students. She takes each day on with a new, clear outlook. Whether she is walking through the halls in the morning, on CAF duty, or meeting with students to plan the next Spirit Week, you can be sure she has a smile on her face. She makes certain to go to the countless events to support her students and keeps everyone updated on key details through social media. The whole school radiates energy thanks to the positive and creative ideas she has put into action to better our community, and we see nothing but better things coming in the future. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce our amazing principal, Mrs. Gill.
Thank you, Allie. Superintendent Blackwood, Assistant Superintendent Prue, School Committee Chairperson Hatch, and members of School Committee, Assistant Principal Blett, Assistant Principal Pratt, Class of 1968, faculty, family, friends, and finally, graduates of the class of 2018. They say you will never forget your first love, your first apartment, or the first time you hold your newborn baby in your arms. The same rings true for a principal's first graduating class. It's impossible to forget a class like this and the incredible mark they have left on our hearts over the last 4 years. The students that sit before you today are some of the hardest working, most talented, inspiring, and courageous students I have had the pleasure of knowing. I could stand here and tell you all about their Scholastic Art and Music Awards, how they scored in the top tier of Massachusetts schools on their MCAS exam, their athletic achievements, the recognition they've received at the state level for CTE, how their advanced placement scores helped our school earn the College Board AP School of Distinction, and I could boast about their SAT and ACT scores. I could tell you about the countless hours they put into reading, writing, analyzing, researching, and building, the late night studying, the early morning review sessions in the parking lot, but I think I'll let the diplomas they'll be receiving today speak for themselves. There's no denying each and every one of these graduates today has worked hard to earn it. Instead, I'd like to share with our families and guests a little more about this class, this group of students who have become friends and lifelong learners together, these young adults. You see, today is more than just a culmination of 4 years of study resulting in a piece of paper protected in a red leather binder. It's more than a celebration of 13 years of school. It is so much more than figuring out where you're heading next. It's about honoring the legacy you will undoubtedly leave behind here at Silver Lake Regional High School. A legacy that is defined by the kindness you have shown to others, the service you have provided to your communities, the brave actions you have taken to stand up for one another, and in the adversity and challenges you have overcome to get where you are today. Over the last 4 years, I've had the privilege of being able to observe you in classrooms, on the athletic fields, in the pool, on the track, in your shops, on stage, in the studio, cafeteria, and hallways. And here's what I've seen. I've seen you compete against other schools and the respect and sportsmanship you display. I've watched you work together as a team, as a family, supporting each other when needed. You've become leaders. You created events like Laker Day to impress upon our younger students the importance of school spirit and collegiality. You are role models. You are the epitome of this year's theme, all in, every day. I've watched you invite students sitting by themselves to join in your group. I've seen you support each other and cheer each other on at games and performances, and I've seen you hard at work at co-op. I've watched you take pledges to end the use of the R word, speak up for victims of domestic violence, and raise thousands of dollars for cancer research. You've taken vows of silence as an ally to your peers. I've seen you welcome new students with open arms and make them feel like they've been a Laker forever. I've seen you come into school with worried expressions, trying hard to focus on your classes while your mind races to a loved one fighting the battle of their life. I noticed the weight on your shoulders and the pain in your eyes. I've seen your heart aches and your heart breaks. I've seen you bounce back from disappointments and setbacks. But most importantly, I've watched you do one of the hardest things any person, young or old, can do. You have learned from your mistakes, and I've seen you rise above your failures. Graduates, I am so unbelievably proud of each and every one of you. Your teachers and I wish you nothing but happiness in all that you set out to do. We are rooting for you. We believe in you, and we want you to know that no matter where you go or how you get there, Silver Lake will always be your home. In keeping with tradition, I have a special gift for you, a quote to be framed and on display in our school for years to come, and a copy of the book the quote is from to be donated to each of our 3 towns' public libraries in honor of your graduating class. My gift to you comes from the book, What Do You Do with an Idea by Kobe Yamada. It is a short story about a young person who is unsure of what to do with an idea they have. By the end of the story, the character realizes exactly what you do with it. You change the world. Much like the character in the book, you have spent the last 4 years pitching your ideas to me. Ideas for new clubs, new programs, ways to improve school culture and climate, ideas to revive school spirit, ideas to help your classmates and friends who may be struggling, ideas to stand together as a student body for what you believe in. With each idea or suggestion you proposed, you collectively made our school a better place for all. What do you do with an idea? You change the world. Whether you are off to college, to work, or to serve our countries in the armed forces, my dear students, it is time for you to go and change the world. Superintendent Blackwood, the students in front of you here today have met all local and state requirements set forth by the Silver Lake Regional School Committee and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I am honored to present to you for their diplomas the class of 2018.
Thank you, Mrs. Gill. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily O'Neill, and I am class treasurer. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce to you our Superintendent of Schools. Mrs. Joy Blackwood started her career working for the Department of Mental Health and the Big Brother, Big Sister program. Her next step in 1996 led her to the field of education as teacher and math coordinator. She has been a parent volunteer and school council member. She served as assistant superintendent for 9 years prior to becoming superintendent in 2015. Mrs. Blackwood is entirely dedicated to the idea that having a healthy mind is just as important as having a healthy body. This is evident from her office walls, which are covered with thank you notes, student artwork, pictures of loved ones, staff, friends, and classes she has visited. Silver Lake is truly fortunate to have such a caring and knowledgeable woman as our superintendent. I present to you Mrs. Joy Blackwood.
Thank you, Emily. I have to tell you, what I've learned listening to this class is we all pick the same themes unknowingly, how incredibly kind and dedicated this class is, Emily was kind enough to come over because she wanted to say something personal about me when she introduced me, and sat and had a cup of tea with me. I have to tell you, it was the absolute highlight of my week. So again, thank you, Emily. Welcome parents, guardians, family and community members, school committee members, staff, and students to the class of 2018 graduation. Today is a day designed to look forward to your future and all the wonderful dreams you hope to accomplish. Your tomorrows will be filled with many adventures and opportunities to experience new and exciting things. However, always remember the life lessons you have learned at Silver Lake. Be kind, accept everyone, be respectful, and generous to all. As you enter this next stage of your journey, the education you have been given will serve you well, whether your path is college, the military, or the workforce. Your teachers have helped you to gain important information, but even more importantly, have taught you to think and to problem solve. No one can know everything, so one of the most important things to understand is how to safely find the answers to the questions or problems you face. This year, on our teacher opening day, we had a guest speaker, Stephen Lane. He talked about the balcony people in our lives. Stephen spoke to us about the challenges we all face in our daily lives and the importance of the people who are always cheering us on, supportive of us, and believe in our capabilities even when we may not believe in ourselves. The people in our balcony will always be with us in spirit and there when you may feel alone and unsure of the right decision. Class of 2018, please take a moment to think of your balcony people. Parents, family members, friends, neighbors, teachers, church members. Think of 3 people that are in your balcony from your time here at Silver Lake. They may be a teacher who showed an extra kindness, a coach who supported your efforts, someone who helped you while struggling with an assignment, supported you through a personal crisis, or celebrated a victory. I hope your balcony is filled with members of the Silver Lake community who will always bring you comfort and smiles throughout your many upcoming adventures. 4 years ago, you began your high school journey filled with anxiety and excitement. You developed your talents on the playing field, on the stage, in the community workforce. Whoa. I used to be able to catch stuff like that. And in the academic arena. You participated in fundraising, helping your neighbors, and took us all on journeys of laughter and tears on the stage. You have wowed us with your academic accomplishments, kindness to others, and willingness to take on any challenge. Take a moment and reflect on some of the friendships you have formed. These are the people who share these memories, both good and bad, happy and sad. Savor those memories and know you will always carry them with you. Over time, they will become even more precious. One of the things I have been most impressed with in this class is how incredibly kind you have been, from everyday acts to fundraising for charities. Often we don't realize how much a small act of kindness can mean to someone. We have started a new tradition here at Silver Lake called the Senior Parade. You may not all think of this wonderful event as an act of kindness, but having been a part of it, I can tell you how much it means to the students, teachers, and administrators at the elementary and middle schools. Taking a moment to say thank you to them, giving them an opportunity to revel in how much you have grown and accomplishments, and to know they played a role in your successes. A kindergartner in Kingston was particularly impressed with all the big kids visiting, and especially loved the hats, the mortarboards. She wanted to know what she had to do and how long it would take before she could get one of those. The principal, Paula Bartosiak, said she would have to go to school for 12 more years. Little girl held up her hands, started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and said, "But that's more fingers than I have on both hands." Congratulations for making it through even more school than the fingers of both hands. Now is the time to begin your next journey, and therefore you must leave us. Remember to hold your memories of Silver Lake close to your heart, and they will be there when you need them. You will always have people here that believe in you and treasure the time you have shared with us. Your families, teachers, and the community who have provided ongoing support to help you achieve your dreams, your balcony people. As you continue your journey through life, it is important to stay balanced and to find things that keep you healthy and happy. There are many choices that we all face on a daily basis, and I hope each and every one of you remember to make good, healthy choices and maintain balance in your life. Always keep kindness at the center of your words and deeds, as there is never enough kindness in the world. Enjoy life, flourish, and try to see every experience, both good and bad, as an opportunity for growth. As you continue your journey, keep kindness and acceptance of all in your heart. Be brave and know that each struggle adds strength to your being. We are sad to see you leave, but excited at the journey for you that lies ahead. Know that wherever your journey takes you, you will always have a home here in Silver Lake. May the journey you take have moments of wonder, be filled with kindness and acceptance, and accomplishments that make you feel proud. With great pride, I accept this class for graduation.
Thank you, Mrs. Blackwood. At this time, I'd like to invite Mrs. Catherine Pratt, Mr. Steve Blett, and Mrs. Paula Hatch to assist me in handing out diplomas. Parents, Life Touch is here to capture the big moment for you, but you're also invited to step into the center aisle to take a picture if you'd like. We just ask, in the spirit of our kind class, that you please be considerate of other families who also wish to see their student walk across stage. So please remain behind the fence and be considerate of people who may be behind you.
Karen Lillian Ho, Valedictorian. Madison Ann Milburn, Salutatorian. Allison Marie Farina, Class President. Sydney Barbara Keough, Vice President. Lauren Vincenza Masterpolo, Secretary. Emily Flynn O'Neill, Treasurer. Sarah Haley Noonan, Historian. Max Thomas Shurikshan. Max is receiving his diploma and literally running to a state track meet. Kate Lauren Ackerman. Andrew Bruce Adams. Kylie Saida Alarash. Parker Emilio Allen. Morgan Duffy Amaral. Shane Matthew Anderson. Kylie Hannah Andreessen. Mariah Elizabeth Andreessen. Jacob Leo Armstrong. Sophia Armstrong, not present. Sarah Marie Aerosmith. Cole Douglas Askin. Rachel Joy Azar. Alexandra Catherine Batchelder. Kevin Paul Balboni. Heidi Teresa Bandon. Myra Lynn Banville. Charles Timothy Bass. Tate Elizabeth Beal. Caitlin Elizabeth Bean. Nicholas Reed Bodwin. Mackenzie Lee Bolio. Tess Evelyn Beckwith. Alexander Joseph Bejarano. Chloe Erin Benson. Hold on tight to yours. Michael Paul Benvesuto. Glenn Martin Birch. Emily Jean Bissett. Rachel Christine Bouchard. Annabelle Natalia Boudreau. Eve Dickerson Bowman. Tanner Byron Boyd.
That's my QB.
Matthew Joseph Breslin.
That's my last captain.
Sarah Elise Brockway. Adam Jonathan Brooks. Kayla Lynn Brookshire. Dylan Christopher Brown, not present. Dennis Paul Bruce. Ian Paul Cadell, not present. Maya Shannon Callahan. Michael Samuel Capola. Ashley Marie Capuccio. Alexander Patrick Carey. Michael Anthony Carey. Amaya Elizabeth Carroll. Robert Dallas Carroll. Richard Anthony Castellano. Erica Nicole Cheever. Rachel Grace Chun. Paula Sophia Cintron. Tanner Christian Cobb. Sydney Grace Coffin. Joshua David Cogburn. Rebecca Ann Cohen. Daniel Michael Collins. Joseph Mitchell Collins. Molly Sandra Comerford. Andrew Stephen Conley. Mary Kate Conley. Michael Richard Connors. Lauren Elizabeth Cook. Nathaniel Jennings Coombe. Richard George Cooper, Jr. Andrew James Corcoran. Melanie Janice Coughlin. Hannah Christina Coveney. Allie Elizabeth Crawford. Rebecca Louise Cullity. Lawrence Daniel Cummings. Colin James Dolan. Brian Michael Daly. Jeffrey Timothy Dahlia. Devin Michael Dalrymple. Cameron Elizabeth Daly. Michael Olavo Di Macedo. William Herbert D'Entremont. Zachary Edward Dejanay. Brendan Christopher Devine. Anthony John DeYoung. Nicholas Dominic Damasio. Olivia Kate Dole. Mia Caroline Dondero. Michael Ryan Donovan, not present. Grace Ann Dooner. Cameron Michael Duff. Kyle Patrick Duff. Matthew Hamilton Duffy. Tyler O'Donnell Duggan. Nathan Aaron Duke. Margaret Catherine Dunn. Jared Christian Dwyer. Maura Fallon Ebbs. Shannon Marie Elwood. Cameron Michael Evangelista. John Daniel Evans. Caitlin Elizabeth Evans. You got this. Zachary Leo Evans. Carly Lynn Fahey. Riley Irene Finn. Julia Johanna Fitzgerald. Abigail Bradley Flaherty. Lillian Morgan Flaherty. Alana Faith Foley. Owen Christopher Fontaine. Emily Elizabeth Ford. Alec Daniel Frazier. Nicholas James Freiberger. Kyle Curtis Fries. Taylor Marie Frizzetti. Christian Burke Galanzi. Aaron James Gallagher. Abigail Mary Gallagher. Conrad Thomas Gallagher. Liza Christine Gallagher. Matthew Antoine Gallagher. Abigail Grace Garcia, not present. Sasha Lauren Gerhard. Serena Ann Gerhard. Kirsten Leanne Gelfi. Anna Louise Gillis. Jeremy Jacob Globin. Laura May Goggin. Olivia Catherine Goodwin. Taylor Alexis Gordon. Yana Catherine Gorham. Caitlin Faith Gran. Reed Harrison Grennan. Kyle Joseph Griffith. Casey Daniel Grindle. Tyler William Gadetti. Talia Alexis Gamaris. William Brooks Gurley. Emma Rose Gustafson. Christopher James Hall. Emma Catherine Hall. Emma Shea Hamilton. Gavin Arnold Hamilton. Lauren Mary Hamilton. Jonathan Ryan Hannigan. Emily Helen Rose Hapgood. Kaylin Bridget Harkins. Liam Paul Harrington. Joshua Richard Harvey. Faith Ann Hatch. Nicholas George Hatch. Kyle Boynton Hugstead. Riley Rose Hawley. Kristen Rose Heath. Tristan Charles Heb. Alexandra Xavier Hebert. Carl Robert Heine. Jack Ryan Herman. Joseph Edward Herman. Emily Maria Hill. Riley Hope McCann Hill. Matthew Robert Hillcoat. Sydney Claire Hunt.
Nicholas John Iarasi. Aaron Elizabeth Eminen. Christian Carrigan Irving. Eamon Richard Irving. Hunter Thomas Justice. Liam Patrick Kelleher. Nicole Catherine Kenny. William Stephen Kerr. Hannah Jean Canup. Abigail Rose Kramer. Wesley Edward Kupik. Julia Ruth Lang. Sydney Ann La Liberty. Tess Susan Lally. Anna Elizabeth Lambert. Thomas Byron Landers IV. Olivia Josephine Landolfi. Philip Matthew Lashley. Stephen Donald Legg. Quinn Christopher Lyden. Christopher Adam Libby. Stephen James Little. Justin Grady Lloyd. Alexandria Lee Lombardi. Nicole Taylor Lazinski. Kevin Joseph Makowitz. Genevieve Emery McRoberts. Alden Ferrande McGuire. Timothy Joseph Manning. Connor Nelson Maston. Taylor Marie Mayberry. Olivia Rose McCafferty. John Alexander McCarthy. Patrick Emerson McCarthy. Thomas Joseph McCarthy. Patrick Martin McCormick. Jason Tyler McCullough. Ashlyn Renee McGovern. Morgan Taylor McKinney. Alyssa Mary McNeil. Colin Hamilton McSherry. Thomas Michael McSorley. May Queenie McWilliams. Maya Princess McWilliams. Maria Louise Mello. Julie Marie Mashad. Kirsten Lee Milliken. Connor Patrick Malloy. Janita Paula Montero. Justin Charles Mooney. Hope Virginia Moran. Devin Juliana Morrissey. Isabella Elise Moscato. Alexis Marie Molthrop. Megan Kylie Mules. Daniel Michael Mullen Jr., not present. Evan Thomas Monroe. Kirsten Elizabeth Murphy. Ryan Michael Murphy. Shannon Rose Murphy. Austin James Mayette. Owen James Nally. Jacob Patrick Neenan. Alyssa Ann Nelson. Jewel Chelsea Nickerson. Michaela Ann Nista. Keegan Thomas Nosher. Kyle Robert Norvish. Callie Jane Ann O'Brien. Coley Jane O'Donnell. Connor William O'Leary. Madison Day Opachinski, not present. Alex Jared Pakalnis. Morgan Bailey Palma. Alicia Kathleen Pandolfo, not present. Parth Vivekanan Patel. Scott Richard Patrick. Bonnie Kathleen Penniman. Francis John Perfedio III. Sophia Elizabeth Peterson. Stephen Simpton Pan. Sean Robert Piccirilli. Matthew Timothy Powell.
Thank you.
Barbara de Oliveira Presky. Fiona Rose Princiata. Tessa Maeve Princiata. Stephen Michael Quigley. Abigail Grace Randall Smith. Caroline Marie Reed. Dylan Thomas Reed. Brian Luke Riley.
Sean Robert Riley. Joseph Timothy Rezenz. Joshua Matthew Rice. Haley Rose Richards. Andrew Thomas Roberts. Lindsay Ray Robertson. Samantha Lee Robinson. Haley Marie Rose. Jeffrey Scott Ross, Jr. Zachary David Rossini. Anna Claire Russo. Emily Rose Russo. Sarah Russo. Chloe Greer Schofield. Zachary Werner Schuley. Kyle Reese Sepulveda. Brianna K. Sheehan. Zachary Charles Schriction. Coyle McGee Shropshire. Kaylee Ann Signori. Jeffrey Michael Silverberg, Jr. Laura Catherine Simmons. Caitlin Rose Smith. Olivia Ryan Smith. Ryan Michael Smith. Liliana Rose Snell. Daniel David Solari. Megan Elizabeth Supple. Nathan Kent Thacker. Garrett Hunter Thompson. Caitlin Elizabeth Thompson. Joseph Anthony Tiano. Jordan Reed Timothy. Michael Anthony Toledo. Rebecca Lynn Town. Eric Brian Travers. Reese Vandermolen. Michelle Ashley Vaughn. Owen Bennett Viator. Mariah Lee Vino. Anthony Edward Vincente. Robert Madison Walker, not present. Alexandria Sky Walton. Olivia Rose Warmington. Jennifer Rose Wazalewski. Jake Christian Waterman. Nicholas Damian Webby. Brenna Meadowcraft Welch. Allison Haley White. Connor LaCroix White. Erin Elizabeth White. Hannah Elizabeth White. Emma Rose Wick. Maria Grace Wayway Willette. Ryan Burke Wilmarth. Tyler R. Wilson. Samuel Romeo Winston. Jillian Lynn Walgemuth. Morgan Ann Walgemuth. Sean Stephen Wright. Devin Lee Zambruno. Nicholas Gregory Zeck. Francesco Domenico Scarpino Zaccaro.
Graduates, you may now move your tassels from right to left. Congratulations.